Hello, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
I am very well, thank you.
Good. Another episode on the podcast.
Yes, yes.
Yes, and I would really like to talk today about something that you've done recently.
Yeah,
And we're going to
yeah.
talk about comfort zones, aren't we?
We are. And yes, I pushed that comfort zone because I saw something pop up. I love a TED Talk, forever watching them on YouTube and getting inspiration from them. I love how it's all set up, that it's, just incredible people stepping onto that stage and sharing a really unique message and their heart on stage. So love a TED Talk, and I saw that there was one coming up in one of the towns near me. So I was like, right, I'm going to book it. And I messaged you, didn't I, actually? And I was like, can you make it? I was like, because it was only like, I'm sure there was only like a week or week and a half to go or something. It was quite last minute, wasn't it? And you couldn't go because you were solo parenting. Um, but then I was like, no, I'm going to go, and I'm going to go on my own. And I felt really called to actually go on my own and push my comfort zone in that way, because I feel I've been experiencing a little bit of frustration recently. And what I've learned about frustration is when I'm feeling frustrated, I've got to do something scary. It's often when I'm stuck in my comfort zone and I'm just itching to get out of it, but the fear is maybe just stopping me, or the fear of doing something different is stopping me. So as you guys know, if you've listened to episodes before, Kat and I are both on this sober journey, and I haven't been going out the same because going to the pub is not the same when you're just having an alcohol-free beer. So I have been doing, that kind of switch off me time very differently. And it's lacked because I've not done that, I've not replaced it with anything. And I think I really realized it was in one of our weekly practices that I need to do something different. Like, if I'm going to continue on this journey, keep pushing those comfort zones to do something different, because it's very easy to go and sit in the pub and have that non-alcoholic beer but leave not feeling very fulfilled. As much as I love spending time with friends and family and doing that, I was craving this something else. So for me, this was a next comfort zone push to take myself out on a Saturday night, get myself a little spruced up, get in the car, and go and drive myself to a town that I've not actually been into before, even though it's quite local to me, and go to somewhere that I've never been. But I did it, and I absolutely loved it. And what I did want to say is that the fear was kicking in as I was getting there, and the thoughts running through my mind were, where am I going to park? Who am I going to stand next to? Who am I going to talk to? Where am I going to sit? And I felt that inside bubbling up. And I got there, and the venue, there was car parking right next to it that was free. And there was a space right there for me. And I got out of the car and I was like, take a deep breath. Took a deep breath. I was like, I am safe. I really want to be here. And I am just so open to this evening, to seeing who I'll meet. If I don't meet anyone, it's okay, because I've sat and I've listened to some incredible speakers. So I just really opened myself up in that moment. But I wanted to share that bit because it's not easy, is it, pushing our comfort zone?
It's not at all, is it? And it's particularly doing something on your own, by yourself, for yourself. And I love that Ted was just like, we're rocking this and we're doing it on a Saturday night. Like, this is
Yeah,
the new Saturday, this is the new night out. And I think there's
exactly.
so much in what you've just shared. And obviously, what we're chatting about today is a comfort zone, but I just really want to quickly touch on the whole sobriety journey that we're both on. And it is about finding these replacements, isn't it, for things that
Mhm.
we'd normally do, perhaps go down the pub or go out drinking on a Saturday night. So first of all, just be so proud for doing
Thank
that,
you.
because it's easy
Mhm.
to just then think, oh well, I don't necessarily want to do that so much anymore in terms of the pub and the drinking, but to not, to just kind of not find something else to do to replace it with. Like, it takes effort, doesn't it? To go, okay, what what do I enjoy that's different now? And I think, like you've said, until we start exploring these things, until we get curious
Yeah.
and start to do things that are different or scary, how could we ever possibly know?
Yeah.
And yes, the thought of going to like a new town on your own on a Saturday night, who am I going to talk to? Who am I going to sit next to? What if I'm stood on my own? All of those things just running through your mind are just so normal. But if we don't do it, like
Yeah.
imagine who we could meet, or what could come of that
Exactly.
evening. And
Yeah.
I
And
think it's just incredible.
that's exactly it. And I think I just opened myself up to that. And this is where, because I have been pushing my comfort zones for the past 2 years and quite heavily, I've just have got a bit addicted to it. So this does come a little easier now. But in the beginning, oh my goodness, like those thoughts, that fear was intense. Like this was still loud in my mind, but it wasn't as intense as previously. And I wanted to share this point that when we're feeling stuck and frustrated, if you're watching on YouTube, I'm just creating a little circle. We're stuck in that comfort zone. And when we move, that comfort zone expands.
Mm,
But to get there and to get that expansion, it is scary. We've got to move through fear to get to the growth. And when that comfort zone gets bigger, we don't stop there. And this is what I've realized is just because I've pushed my comfort zone once doesn't mean I'm done. It's getting comfortable being uncomfortable, because the more we grow this comfort zone, and my circle's getting bigger, guys.
yeah.
The more we grow that, the more life we experience.
Mm,
And obviously in this podcast, we talk about lifting the lid on life, because that's what I've done through doing
yeah.
this. Like the more we do the scary things, the more we get uncomfortable being, sorry,
And
comfortable being uncomfortable.
yeah, 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 yeah.
The more we experience, the more
Mm,
life we see, the more we just whack that lid off and just go,
yeah.
do you know what? I'm me and I'm good and I'm safe and I'm just
Mm.
going to see what life has in store for me. Um,
And why put a cap on it, you know? Why put a lid on it?
yeah,
Why put a limit or a glass ceiling or whatever we refer to it as? Because we do it to ourselves, don't we? We create these limits for ourselves. Oh, people like me don't do that, or I can't do that. And
yeah,
and and that's not me saying that low self-esteem or a lack of confidence doesn't exist. Of course it does.
yeah,
And you might be listening to this and thinking that is I just could not do that just yet, you know. I
yeah,
could just not do that just yet on my own. Or you might be thinking, well, that's easy to do. I'll get in a car and
yeah.
go to any new place on my own, go and tip up and be in a room with strangers. Like I'm cool with that. And this is the exciting thing about being on this journey and just staying in your lane. We'll
Hmm.
all have different comfort zones. Our comfort zones look completely different,
Yeah.
and confidence for one person will look different from the other. So I think it's just tapping into you and where you're at on your journey
Hmm.
and being like, well, actually, to stretch my comfort zone, to expand my comfort zone
Yeah.
in terms of doing something that's a little bit scary or a little bit different, it looks like this for me. And
Yeah.
you take that step. And I think with what you've just said is just is everything, that getting comfortable with being uncomfortable, like that's the new high.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yes.
That's the ticket, because I fear that if we're not doing that, and if we're not stretching and expanding and growing as human beings, we're kind of a little bit, like you touched on, frustrated or stuck. And I know I can completely relate to this. If I'm in frustration, it's because things aren't evolving, or there's ways I may want to be in terms of myself or my life, and I'm not doing anything about it. So I'm not doing about it, and I'm particularly not doing things differently. So I'm on a cycle of repeat, life on repeat, doing the same things, getting the same results, and wondering why I'm still frustrated. So it's like, well, I've got to do the things that scare me a little bit,
Yeah.
or just different, just trying something different. And then if that doesn't work, something else. Or if the scary thing does work, it's just kind of celebrating and then being really proud of myself that I took that leap of faith and did that thing,
Yeah.
felt that fear, did it anyway, dance with the fear, all those wonderful phrases that we use.
Yeah.
And then you're just like so bloody proud of yourself, aren't you, once you've done it?
100%. And there's something that you just touched on before was like, sorry, just to go back a little bit, was having this lid on, and it says to put the lid on.
Mm,
One of the lids in that scenario for me was that people will point me out as being the one who's come on her own. And when I flip that, when I've seen people standing in confidence in a place on their own and they're just watching the world go by and they've taken themselves somewhere, I wouldn't look at them and go, oh my gosh, look at them, they're on their own. I'd go, how amazing is that they've just brought themselves here and they're doing that, like whether people are coming with them or not. Like I'd admire them, and I flipped that in the car, and I was like, yeah, smash that lid open. Like I don't need that
Mm,
limiting thought in my mind, because if anyone did look at me and laugh at me because I'm stood in the corner on my own,
so be it.
yeah, fair dues. But
Yeah.
I'm the kind of person who would look at someone and go, wow, like that's
Yeah.
incredible. And I want to be around the people that would also say, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. And through pushing our comfort zones, that's where we create that belief.
Mm,
So if we're looking to believe in ourselves and that I can attitude,
yeah,
it's doing the thing that we think we once thought we couldn't do,
yeah,
and then going, aha, look at me, I've done it. And taking that moment to feel that pride, giving that pride to yourself. Yeah, it's wonderful when somebody else pats on the back. I know I said to you, I'm so proud of you for doing what you did with the,
yes,
going to the
yeah,
TEDx, but I know that you're going to have done that for yourself as well.
yeah,
So take note and be proud of it. And then it's just that proof, isn't it, that you can do the things. I think back to like one massive thing I did in terms of pushing my comfort zone was that cold water swim with you at the farm club.
yeah,
Like, and that was back in February. And you invited me, and I said yes. And the moment I said yes, I thought, oh my God, what I just said. Like, and Mark ripped me because he's like, Kat, you're the girl that wraps up in a woolly blanket on the beach in Spain. Like, you just don't like being cold. And you're telling me you're going in a lake in February in 3 degrees or whatever it was, the temperature. And I was like, yeah, because I know how much I'm fearful of it. Like, I don't like being cold, but I knew it was something, just something you want to do for yourself just to prove that you can. So that was
yeah,
like an epic this year in terms of comfort zone pushes. That was massive for me. But the feelings after, I mean, the open, cold water therapy itself is just an exhilarating
yeah,
feeling. But on a personal level, to have pushed that comfort zone through so much fear, growth was there, just going woohoo for me on the other side. And
yeah,
the feelings I had of like, if I can do this, I can do anything. And I think
yeah.
that all adds to your cup of belief, doesn't it?
Mhm.
Because if we're not believing in ourselves so much, but then we're not doing the things to help ourselves work on that, that's that confidence competence loop. The more we do something, the
Yeah,
more we get competent at it, and the more we can start to believe in ourselves. I think it's asking ourselves the question, like, what is it that I can do to push my comfort zone? And just
yes,
remember, it's whatever that looks for you.
absolutely. And it's this continual thing, because I left, and like you say, I left that and I absolutely gave myself the credit. But first, what came, it was interesting actually, because the show ended and I kind of then, obviously, it was time to go, but there were some people that I would have, because all of them, the TED Talk speakers came into the audience, and it thought in my mind, just stay and go and tell them how amazing it was, and just like, kind of have those chats. And I didn't.
Okay.
And I came away and I was like, Charlotte, why didn't you do that? And just in that moment, I just got a little bit where I was like, oh, I'm uncomfortable. And not that, because I've already pushed my comfort zone in a big way by
Mhm.
being there for me, like you say, personally. I want to go do that again. And I want to stay longer at the end and do that next time. And I
That's the
came,
bit. Sorry.
yeah,
So that's the building block, so isn't it?
yeah. And I came away, but my mind straight away went to, Charlotte, you should have stayed there longer. But I wasn't meant to in that moment,
Mm.
because I'd done what I felt called to do that day, and I left. I'd already spoken to people and pushed my comfort zone in that way. Like we were stood in the ice cream queue and found myself stood next to some amazing people doing amazing things. I was stood next to a publisher who has absolutely reignited my need to get this book out of me and into reality. But yeah, I came away and I'd done that. Oh, you should have stayed there longer. But then I've not sent these to you, but I ended up pressing record on my phone, like on the way home. And I basically just recorded my own pep talk, and I've not listened to it back. It's probably well messy. But I gave myself that pep talk. I was like, Charlotte, you know what you want to do next time.
Mm.
You know you want to stand there for longer next time. And this is all growth. So
Mm.
next time that comfort zone is going to get even bigger when I stay for longer, and maybe I tell one person they did an amazing job. But what I did do was I knew that I was feeling a little bit, oh, should have done that. So I did what was in my control. And the next day, I really followed up with those incredible people that I've met. I connected with people on LinkedIn, and I really kind of found those speakers and just presented them with my thoughts of their talk, and
Mm.
really sort of told them how amazing I thought it was and what I got from it, and how amazing I think that their message is.
Mm.
Whereas I could have just gone, oh, I didn't do that. That's,
Mm. Mm.
and beating myself up coming out of there.
Yeah, yeah.
But I didn't stop there, because
No.
I set this standard for myself, and it's much higher than it used to be. And it was like, okay, you didn't do that. That's okay. What can
Mm.
you do now?
Love that. And that's the magic of this work, and being there for yourself in ways that matter, and being your own coach and your best encourager, because you've come away and you pushed a massive comfort zone, but you didn't do the one thing. You didn't stay. Oh, you should have stayed. Why didn't I stay? You didn't do that. You had that thought, I
Yeah.
should have stayed, but you didn't. You chose not to let it continue. You chose not to berate yourself. You went, right, okay, I didn't,
Yeah.
but I know that that's something I want to do next time. For
Yeah.
now, that was the comfort zone push. These
Mhm.
are the layers. Next time, tipping up and being there is going to feel easy,
Yeah.
because I've already pushed that one. The next step for me is going to be to go and speak to the speakers afterwards and share with them in person,
Yeah.
my thoughts, and thank them for a wonderful talk. So
Mhm.
it's all these little maneuvers, isn't it, in terms of our inner dialogue and what we think about ourselves and what we think is possible for ourselves, and just changing that relationship and just getting ourselves back on board with ourselves, isn't it? And
Yes. Yeah.
yeah, and going, come on, you can
100%.
do this. Come on, you can like being our
Yeah.
own biggest cheerleaders.
Because then you did this with the cold water, didn't you? Like,
Mm.
and this has just absolutely landed with me now. Yeah, it's coaching ourselves like
Yeah,
through these, yeah, because
yeah,
it's so easy to go, I wish I'd stayed in longer, or I
yeah,
wish I'd got in with more ease. But then we went to that, not that you did say that, because you were absolutely,
yeah,
you did
yeah,
incredible
yeah,
because it was your first time. But I remember
yeah,
then when we went to the spa and there
yes,
was the cold water bath, that you were
yes,
like, you just had in your mind that you wanted to just get in with,
yeah,
you just got in with such a new level of
yeah,
conviction and
yeah,
belief in yourself that you were literally blew me away with that. And I was like,
absolutely,
you set the bar
absolutely.
for me now.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? Back the first time, so at the farm club, I absolutely 100%, 110% coached myself into that water. You're right.
Yeah.
Because if I'd have stood on the sidelines there and gone, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this, there's not a chance in this world I would have got in that water. Not a chance.
Yeah.
I'm not going to, am I?
No.
If I'm going to be running on repeat that I can't do it, I had to go, I can do this. And I had to be really mindful of my breath,
Mhm.
because it does naturally, literally take your breath away. And I had a moment where I had to just backtrack back up the jetty a bit
Yeah.
and just, come on,
Yeah.
I can do this. And I got in. And you're right, I wasn't in for very long. I just like 3 minutes or something. I don't
Still
know.
did it. You did incredible for first
But I
time.
did it. And I
Yeah.
came back out and I was so blooming proud of myself
Yeah.
for every second that I stayed in that water.
Yeah.
And you're right, I could have gone out and got, oh, but I didn't get my shoulders right under and I didn't stay in for long enough. No, I did
Mhm.
it. I did it for me. I did it for 3 minutes. And the only way is up. Next
Yeah.
time it's 10. And I've swam 300 meters now around a lake
Yeah.
at the water's edge, where we've got our retreat, by the way, on the 17th of September.
Yes.
Um, so, it's the building blocks, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
the steps, one step at a time.
Mhm.
Don't expect to go from being the quietest person in the room with low confidence, just jumping up on stage and performing like Beyonce.
Mm.
Because unless a miracle happens overnight, guys, it's not feasible. And what we can often do in life is look at the Beyoncés and go, oh, but it's all right for her. But look, she can just do that. She will have started somewhere. No one's
Yeah.
born an expert. We don't come out
No.
of the womb. Well, maybe Beyonce did come out singing the way she does, but we don't come out experts. Everyone's a beginner once. So we've got to give ourselves a break.
Yeah.
And
And
we've got to
it's
go, yeah, I'm
never,
here to stretch this comfort zone. Let's go for it.
yeah. And it's never too late to start that journey. Like,
No.
I could have stayed in my comfort zone and not done anything with that Saturday night. Like you could have stayed warm and not done
Yeah,
that.
quite easily.
But we had that urge to do that something
Mm,
different. We had maybe a little bit of frustration at points of wanting to do something, but that fear was going,
mm,
do the thing,
yeah.
do the scary thing, and be so proud of yourself. And if you catch yourself being anything other than unkind, if you catch yourself like I did, coming out and thinking of that one thing that maybe you didn't do as well as you wish, like if I
Mm,
wish I'd stayed longer, flip it. That's
yeah.
the power we have. Like, I absolutely flipped that in the car on the way home, and I landed home so immensely proud of myself,
Yes.
so full up of inspiration of my next steps, knowing what I want to do next,
Yeah.
just of so much goodness. And I wouldn't have been there without that scary move.
No.
It does take effort. It takes a scary move,
Mm,
but you're capable and you can do it. And I know that this journey has always been about getting excited about what I am capable of. And I am
yeah.
always. I went to that excited about what I'm capable of. And I think we all deserve that. Like, started with a French plat.
Yeah. And we're so much more capable than we think we are. And
Yeah.
just to really quickly add in here in terms of comfort zone pushes, just to reiterate again on this, on the scale of like what it means for everybody. I drove to and from Newport in the morning, so a 3-hour round trip. Now, I'm a confident driver, but I'm not that confident on the motorways. I did that on my own to go to the passport office. And I got back and I was so proud of myself. Like, and somebody listening now might be like that, somebody that drives, that commutes and drives on the motorway day in, day out and does that, like that means nothing to them.
Yeah.
But to me, I got back and I said to Mark, I said, "You're going to think I'm silly here." And he's like, "What?" I'm like, "I'm really proud of myself to drive into Newport and back this morning and
Nice.
finding somewhere to park and doing it all by myself." And he kind of looked at me and like awkward smile. He's like, "Oh yeah, me too." As if to say like, and I was like, "You don't think that's something to be proud of, do you?" It's like, no, I get it while you're proud of it. And I'm just like, and I love that and like, in admiration for other people, like that's no skin off Mark's nose. Like he'll just get in the
Yeah.
car and that's easy for him.
Mhm.
But for me, it was a comfort zone push, and I just thought I'd add that in because it literally, to some
Yeah.
people, they might think I'm the most confident person in the room, and I can be. But to drive to Newport and back in a day, that was a push. That was a push, guys.
Yeah, it's what it feels to us, isn't it?
Yeah,
And this is, oh, I mean, it's all what we do, journeying home to our authentic selves,
yeah,
reconnecting back with her, understanding her, encouraging her. Just our only job is to be more her, and life will become much easier, much
yeah,
more free flowing, and much more. It's just all of our answers are there. All of the
yeah,
feelings that we want to
yeah.
feel are there. We've just got to go inwards. But yeah, it's how it feels to us. So
Mhm.
however that looks for you guys, like obviously we love to present you with a takeaway. I think you know what's coming. We're gonna ask you to push your comfort zone.
Yes, I was just
Step
like,
out.
yes. And I want to know. I want to know, what is it? What is it that you're
Yeah,
wanting to do that you're holding yourself back because of fear in whatever way that looks for you,
yeah,
because it feels a little scary? What is
yeah.
it? What comfort zone push is it that you're going to make?
Let
Share
us
with us.
know. Let us know, guys, and do it and do it for you because this is this journey. It's building ourselves up from the inside out and it's lifting that lid on our lives, the lid that unfortunately we have placed on ourselves, but
Mhm.
fortunately, because we've placed it, we can smash it
Take
back
it back
off
off.
again. So yeah, share with us guys what you're gonna do to push your comfort zone, do that scary thing, just see all that's on the other side of it. Um, so yeah.
And if you want to push your comfort zone and jump in some cold water,
Yes,
we have the perfect day for you on
we
Sunday,
do.
September the 17th.
We
We
do.
have our Empowered Woman retreat at the most incredible venue, Water's Edge, where wellness meets water, over in Pershore, Worcestershire. It is 10 till 5. It is going to be, got exclusive venue hire for you guys. And it is just going to be the most restorative day to reset, recharge, to be surrounded with incredible like-minded women. And the open cold water is just one part of the day, isn't it? We have grounding meditations, mindfulness practices, group rapid transformation session, coaching from Charlotte and I, a nourishing lunch, time in nature. I mean, wow.
Yeah.
This is the place to push your comfort zone. It really is. So you can secure your place for just £50 a day. And we'll pop the details in the show notes. If you've got any questions, of course, reach out to us and ask us. But come and get in that lake, because I haven't seen anybody yet that gets out that lake and goes, I wish I didn't do that. Everybody comes out and they're like, wow, what did I just experience? So come do it.
100%. Yeah. Oh gosh, I'm so excited for that. Literally, when you're talking about it, gives me goosebumps every time. I'm like, oh, it's going to be such an incredible day. And obviously also the membership is here for you as always. We are doing this work together actively every month with a group of like-minded women who are on this journey. So if you are ready to start and that comfort zone push looks like that for you, we're right on the other side of that leap. We're right on the other side of that circle, and we're ready to catch you. So we're here for you always. Thank you as ever for listening, and sending you all so much love. We'll speak to you very soon.
Yeah, speak soon, guys. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.